Hello my dear students, welcome back to our English class, and today we will do the first grammar worksheet. We have done this once, but today we are going to discuss it in detail. I hope you remember in the earlier part of our online class session we have done grammar worksheet 1. Some of you will still remember, but today we will just break it into simpler terms and re-study this in a detailed manner, because that is going to help you. I'm sure you have started solving the answers that I've told you earlier, and if there is any one of you who have not done that yet, I'm requesting you to start solving the questions, because if you do that, you will get to know how far you have gone or how much you have learned through the explanations. Okay, as far as possible, try to do it without having the help of your elders or anyone at home, because that self-learning is the best way for a student to learn. Even if the teachers twist the question in the examinations, it will not be a difficult thing for you if you listen to the explanation and understand it. There is no point of memorizing the grammar answers without understanding the concept. Okay, it is almost like maths. Without knowing the formula, you cannot do it. So also the same with grammar. So I'm going to re-explain to you the first worksheet. It starts from page number 28 and the following pages. We have three main topics here, but today we will first discuss on determiners, and then we will also go to the subject pronoun agreement. Okay, if you are ready with your book, please flip your pages to page number 28 and get ready. Okay, grammar worksheet 1. The first topic that we have in our worksheet 1 is determiners. Okay, determiners are words that specify a noun or a pronoun, and this work is done by articles, demonstratives, possessive, distributives, and quantifiers. Okay, I repeat, the main subtopics under determiners are articles, possessive, quantifiers, distributives, and demonstratives. Okay, please keep this in your mind, and remember, you will get questions to fill in the blanks with determiners. Okay, in that case, you have the freedom to use any of these 5 topics. You have the authority to use any of these 5 topics, but whenever the question says you have to fill in the blanks with possessive, that means you have to get stuck to this. Okay, even though it comes under determiners, when the question is specific in that way, you cannot use the other forms of determiners again. Okay, let's start with articles. What are articles? We all know that is one of the easiest topic in English grammar. We have only 3 words under articles, right? The 3 words are a and the. Okay, and even in articles, you can divide it into 2 types again: definite article and indefinite article. Okay, definite, the meaning of the word definite means to be certain or to be sure. Okay, sometimes you are not very sure, so that means that is indefinite. There might be some kinds of closures, some kinds of bans or strikes, and we call it as the indefinite ban. Okay, that means we do not know how long the closure will go on, and so that is why it is called as indefinite. Sometimes we keep using the word again and again without knowing the actual meaning, right? So definite means sure and indefinite means not sure. Whenever you want to point to a particular thing that you are very specific and that you are very sure about, you will use definite article, that is DHE. Okay, this is definite article, and a and are indefinite. The difference between definite and indefinite we will study again. You can use the word a and, these 2 words, when you are referring to a singular object, okay, that starts with a vowel. You know what are vowels, right? You have been studying since class 3. A, E, I, O, U, those letters are called as the vowels in English alphabet, isn't it? And so here, a and will be used when you are referring to an object which is singular, and it also starts with a vowel. Okay, and these 2 articles are called as indefinite article. THE is called definite because you don't use the word the, okay, THE, unless you want to refer to a thing that you know. If I say the building on the opposite is my house, that means I am just referring to one building which I am very specific about, okay. In that case, since I know that very well, it is definite. I'm very sure that the house belongs to me. I'm sure you know your own houses, right? So that's why it is very certain and it's very sure that the house belongs to me, and that was the reason why I used the house. I did not say a house, okay. A house in the opposite belongs to me. I cannot say that because I am very specific about the house that I am referring to, okay. So these three letters are articles, and remember, articles is a subtopic under the determiners, okay. The next is possessive. Possessive means showing ownership, okay. Sometimes you might get confused with possessive determiners, okay, and possessive pronoun. Possessive pronoun is not here in our topic, but in order to clarify possessive determiner, I am going to explain possessive pronoun. A possessive pronoun can be mine, hers, his, theirs, all those words, but under this possessive determiner, you will not use those things. What we use is, I'm going to write some examples here. You can also think of it and take a note down in your copy so that you will also remember and see whether the examples that I give you will tally with your examples, okay? The first is my, your, his, her. I'm not writing hers, okay? Because hers will be a possessive pronoun, whereas we are doing the possessive determiner, okay? And one more thing I'll add is their. You can add more, its, and so on, okay? So here we are using only this possessive determiner, and when you want to refer to something and say that it belongs to somebody, you will use one of these possessive determiner, okay? This is his book, right? The word his tells you that the book belongs to him. That means it belongs to a man or a boy, right? And if you want to refer to a girl, it's simple, you use the word her, right? This is her book, or this is my pen. So these are the examples that I'm giving you in order to let you be, it's very simple. You may think that you can understand it just by your self-study, but sometimes when two things come together, I've seen that some students also uses mine, his, theirs, hers, and so on in order to fill in the blanks with a possessive determiner. And though the two words are very close to one another, your answers are wrong, for which you will not get any marks. In your conversation, you can use those words, but when the question is specific, asking you to fill in the blanks with possessive determiner, you cannot start using those words which does not come under determiners. Though the words may be acceptable in our daily conversations, but we are dealing with a specific topic, and that is why we should be clear with what the question is asking about. Many times, students know the answer, but they will not know the question, and that is a big problem. You keep studying the whole night, you keep studying the whole month, preparing for your exams, and then finally, you enter the wrong answer because of your carelessness. How embarrassing it would be, or you will just be disappointed at yourself, right? How disappointing it would be after knowing all the answers, struggling hard, listening to your teacher's explanation, doing your self-study, and finally you put in the wrong answer just because you did not study the question carefully, right? So this is why I am explaining this over and over again, because it is very close to possessive pronouns, okay? And do not make the mistake of writing mine, yours, hers, and all again. And the next comes the quantifiers. Quantifiers, it's close to the word quantity, right? You know what is a quantity, isn't it? Quantity is the amount of something, okay? Quantity is the amount of something, and here quantifiers is also a subtopic under determiners. And so there are some words which will tell you the amount of something, and those words are called as quantifiers. If I ask you to give me an example, you can imagine of words which tells you the amount of something, right? He gave me some sweets. So which do you think is telling you the amount of the sweets? I'm sure you got it by now. It's some sweets, right? So let's find at least 5 examples here. Some, many, few, little, a bit, and so on. Okay, we have a lot of words that comes under quantifiers. They all tell us the amount of something, and here these words which specifies the amount of an object or the amount of something to us are called as quantifiers. Okay, it will not tell you like 1 or 2 or 3, but it will tell you in a collective form. He gave me some sweets. That's what I have told you, right? There is a little bit of water in the bucket. There are a few chocolates in the basket. So all these words that tells you the amount of something are called as quantifiers. Okay, I'm going to explain to you the difference between few and little. Okay, these two words are very close to one another. Why? Because few and little refers to an amount which is not very much. But the difference is few will be used only with countable nouns. Okay, you know what are countable nouns, isn't it? Countable nouns are the nouns that you can count or the objects that you can count. If I ask you to count bottles of water, you count it, isn't it? It's very easy for you to count the bottles of water kept on the table. But if I ask you to count water, that's impossible. Nobody can count water. If you were to count, you will count it by drops or by bottles or by cups. That's it. You cannot just say 1 water and 2 water, right? And so those kind of uncountable nouns will use little. Okay, there's very little water left in the bucket because you cannot count water. And so also the same thing with any other uncountable nouns. If you cannot count them, you have to use the word little. Okay, there is very little time left for the examination. Example, because you don't count time, you cannot say 1, 2, isn't it, for time. You have to say there is very little time left for the examination, but you can say there is only a few chocolates, right? That's what I gave you in the example. So you have to keep this in your mind while using these two words. The others, I know you can manage it, right? But for this few and little, you have to know that the difference in their usages. Okay, I forgot a point here in possessive. In a possessive determiner, you have the word eats, right? If you look at the board, eats. This will be used for an object which you do not know the gender. Okay, so or an object that is non-living thing. So in that case, you have to use the word eats, but please do not put an apostrophe. Okay, if you put an apostrophe like this, it apostrophe s, this is the short form of it is. There is very high chances for some students to make this mistake again, though it's very simple. That's why I am explaining this again. If you want to refer to an object, okay, which you do not know the gender, example, the bird broke its wings. We do not know whether it's a female bird or a male bird, so we have to say its. We cannot say her wings or his wings, right? In this case, you have to use the word its, but do not use it apostrophe s. You are already in class 10 and you have to be well versed with this. These are very simple things. Before you pass out class 10 and go, these are the things that you should learn, because in your higher classes, your teachers will not have enough time to dwell on these little things again, because you have other courses to be completed. Okay, if you use this, it is just the short form of the word it is. Okay, so your sentence will become a total mess if you use this in a possessive determiner. Okay, and now we are coming down to distributives. You know what is distribution, right? You distribute sweets on your birthday. You help your teachers to distribute the refreshments during the sports week or any other functions, because you are the senior most in your high school. And so you know what is distributions? Distributive determiners comes under that category. Okay, both, each, every, neither, either. Those are the things that comes under distributive determiners, okay? One thing that we will learn is, okay, first let me give you the examples, both, each, every, neither, and either. When you want to make a distribution, each and every student should wear proper uniform. That's what you hear almost every day, isn't it? From your teachers, from your principal, or sometimes even from your seniors. You hear this, so these words come when you want to make a distribution, then only you will use this distributive determiners, okay? When there is a distribution, each student have to pay a sum of ₹50 for their board examination or whatever. That means everyone is made equal. Remember, everyone becomes a separate entity. You are not mentioned as a collective noun, okay? In those cases, you will use the distributive determiner. And the next one comes the demonstratives, okay? In our first class, I'm sure some of you will remember, I mentioned that demonstrative determiners are pointing words, right? Pointing words. We have only 4 demonstrative determiners. Some of you will be recollecting right now, but I'm going to give it on the board again. This, that, those, and this, THESE, okay? We have done this a little bit, but today it's going detailedly, so I'm sure it's helping you. This and that are used for singular nouns, okay? Singular nouns or pronouns. This is to point to an object that is close to you, that I don't have to explain again, and that is an object far away from you. But do not make the mistake of using the wrong number, okay? Wrong number means singular and plural are called numbers in English grammar, right? If you want to refer to an object that is far away from you and is singular, then only you will use the word that, okay? That cupboard in the corner. That means I am pointing only to a single cupboard, right? Or if I say this table in front of me, I have to use the word THIS. And those and these are also similar here. Those will be used to point to a group of words that are far, to a group of nouns that are far away from you. That means those books on that table, you have to use that. Or you can even say these books in front of me, right? THESE. In others, you don't make much mistake, but sometimes there is an interchange of THIS and THESE. That is why I'm explaining again. So please make sure that you are clear with all this. I'm going to quickly sum up our lesson for today. We have 2 other topics again in our worksheet. We will continue in the next class. But for now, remember the 5 main subpoints that come under determiners are articles, possessive determiner, quantifiers, distributives, and demonstrative. Articles can be divided into definite article, THE, and indefinite, AN. Possessive determiners are the words that shows possession of something, okay? That something belongs to somebody, okay? And in a quantifier, it will give you the quantity or the amount of something that you are talking about. The next comes the distributive, like the word distribution itself. When you want to make a distribution in people or in a group of people, you can use the distributive determiners. And then the next one is demonstratives, which are called as pointing words. And we have only 4 words here: this, that, those, and this. And so please go through your text once again and then try to correct the exercises that you have already done. This is the first worksheet, and I know that many of you will have finished it. Try correcting your own answers. Your teachers are not there by your side, so please help yourself. And if you are confused, go back to the explanation and go through the reading, go through the page and read it in page number 28, because you will find the explanation given there very clearly. And also keep listening to the explanation, because for grammar, without the explanation, it is going to be very difficult for you to follow up. And with this, we are going to end. Thank you.